Hey there, friends. Pastor Mark McElraith here, and today is Monday, March 7th, and we are on page 347 of our Reservoir devotional readings. And today we're looking at John, the Gospel of John, chapter 5, verses 1 through 9. If you haven't had a chance to read your Reservoir reading, or if you haven't had a chance to go look at that John chapter 5 text, I encourage you to pause the video now and go read those texts and then come back and join us. You know, isn't it striking with that scripture text? It's a text that's popular. You've probably read it before, or at least know the story, or somewhat familiar. But isn't it fascinating? After being sick for 38 years, notice how that man responded to Jesus' question, "Do you want to be made well?" He answers this in verse 7. It says, "The sick man answered him, 'Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. And while I am making my way, someone else steps down ahead of me.'" He didn't even answer Jesus' question. Instead, he gives an excuse. Well, really, if we're honest, of course, he had a good excuse. He is paralyzed. There is no way he can heal himself on his own. He needs help. He wants to get into that pool, but other people clamor before him to get into that healing pool. Well, what about you and me? When confronted with our own paralysis, with our own brokenness, how do we respond? Do we find good reasons to explain our brokenness? And they may be very good reasons. Or do we say yes to healing? What do we do? I know for me, I often find it strangely hard to say yes to healing. I have my share of struggles and deficits and brokenness in so many areas of my life. And I admit, if I'm honest, I admit that I have actually grown comfortable with many of them. I often struggle to be vulnerable enough to Jesus to be healed of them. And that's why in our Reservoir text today, it really struck me with these words. I'm going to read just a few sentences that really struck me from that text today. It says, "The Gospels are full of stories of miraculous healing, but Jesus never forces that healing on anyone. Most of us have areas of our lives where we feel paralyzed and desire healing. Jesus comes to us and asks us if we really want to be made well, or whether we've actually become so accustomed to our dysfunction that it's hard to give it up." What broken places in your life needs healing? Is it a relationship, a habit, a dependency, a secret? Is it something that pulls you away from God's best hopes for your life? What in your life is broken and needs healing? Now, let's use our holy imagination. You can close your eyes at this point if you would like. Let's use our holy imagination. Picture yourself in your bedroom. Now, there's a knock at your bedroom door. You answer, and it's Jesus. Jesus smiles at you, and he sees your brokenness. And then he asks you, "Do you want to be made well?" What's your answer?